Hi YouTube, it's Narissa, and I've been watching some videos. I haven't been on YouTube very much. Crazy busy, and I'm trying to think of some good stuff, and I came across, I don't know if you've ever watched her, but Amber Honeyraven, she found a YouTube Pagan challenge, and it's a weekly thing. So maybe that'll help me get on here more. I had some plans of doing some videos, and the videos are gonna be what I did for my New Year's resolution. I'm gonna start studying the goddess for a year, and I don't mean just one goddess, I mean all of them, as many as I can. The ones that intrigue me. I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna work on a goddess book of shadows. I'm gonna make a goddess book of shadows, and I'm gonna do some crafts that go along with it, and possibly some artwork, and get that started. But so this challenge that please excuse me, these witches are doing, it sounded kind of unique, maybe something new, and I really don't talk much about me, so this will kind of help me. I'll come out of the house closet and into the YouTube channel thing better, maybe. I'm hoping I can do this. I'm one of those people that go, oh, squirrel, and I'm off on something else, so it's really kind of hard for me. So the first week, which I know I'm a week behind because I just seen it, and today is the 11th, so we're like into almost the second week of January. So I'm going to do this week, and then I'm going to find out what the next week is. I'm going to find it on the computer wherever it's at, and find the original poster and see what I can do from there. So the first question is, how did you find your craft? Mine is a tad bit silly. Well, maybe not so silly, but just a little bit. I was raised Roman Catholic, and I even went to I went to Catholic school for the first 5 years of my life, and then Mom and Dad couldn't really afford the Catholic school anymore, and they sent me to public school, and you know, growing up in that setting for my mind and my learning was very, very hard. Not to bash or anything, but I learned all my prayers. But when they sent me to public school, I had to go to special classes because I could not do arithmetic and I could not read. So my mind was pretty well messed with in that sense. So when they started sending me to public school, I met some friends, I met different people and different things, and you know, learned about their belief systems in a sense. And when the little neighborhood that I lived in, I would walk to church, and mind you, when I didn't go to Catholic school anymore, Mom and Dad wanted me to go to church more often. So I walked, and I passed by a Baptist church a couple of times, and you could hear them singing. I mean, you could hear the hoopla, and you know, Roman Catholics, we just kind of kneel, sit, stand, genuflect. So I was curious. I gypped church, and I walked into the back door and just kind of stood back there to watch and just to see what it was about. So, poof, my curiosity of different religions popped into view, and I was probably maybe 9 or 10, I don't know. And I mean, I got curious, and I started looking things up at the school library, and asking friends, and different things along that line. And then, you know, I went through high school, and the whole time I was in high school, I was constantly looking. Because I didn't feel comfortable in my religious skin. I couldn't figure it out. I knew something was different. I just didn't like how they said, well, you can't do this and you can't do that. And I was like, wait a minute, I'm far more American than I am religious. I believe in our rights, and it was kind of difficult for me in high school, thinking, well, it's this, and then poof, out of high school, we got married and had babies and moved to a small town, and boy, you want to talk about it. There, the religion was really, really one-sided, and so was the race, and it disgusted me, and I divorced that gentleman, and I'm not going to call him a gentleman, that man, and I remarried, and I came back to Wichita, and it was different. He wasn't really super religious. He didn't want to go, he didn't do church or anything like that. So there again, I had a vehicle. I started searching, and I started looking for books. And I because of my Catholic upbringing, the word convene, I had the need to convene. I had to find people like me. I had to figure out what was so different about me. And I even went into Satanism. I read everything you could possibly think of from Anton LaVey, and I was like, well, there's too much all about me crap in this, and I can't do that. I couldn't figure it out. And during this time, this is where it gets really silly. I was a big video game player, and my video game playing was Tomb Raider. I was just smitten with it. I constantly played it. I started a web page. I mean, it was intense, and I don't know what it was, but it kept pushing me to look up the different things that she was searching for. Either if it was, and my main push was Egyptian. I mean, I was like, oh my, this is so fantastic. And so I put the game controller down, and I started looking up the Egyptian gods and goddesses. And then I started buying everything I could possibly find that had an Egyptian theme. And then I found a book called Isis Magic. And I was like, what? What's this? So then I started looking up the witchcraft side of all the things that I found in this video game. It was kind of silly, but, I had all the statues. I bought them all, not knowing what I was doing. It was almost like I was being pushed in a direction. I mean, it was so powerful that, I mean, it was extensive. I've got, I don't know, 30 or 40 statues on Egyptian. My bathroom is completely done in Egyptian. For a long time, it was my bedroom, and my husband always used to laugh and say we lived in a tomb. Gotta get a drink. So that's where it started. So then all of a sudden, I started finding other little books and other little things, and I started doing this, and I did it all by myself at first. I didn't realize there were other, people out there that were into this. I thought, oh, it's just my crazy rambling, or my crazy thoughts, or my wants. And I started looking more into it, and I started making things, and I met a lady that I went to a metaphysical fair, and I met a lady that had some items, and I now remember, I didn't think anybody out there was like me. I didn't know what was going on. And this is probably about 18, 20 years ago. And she had some things that, pendulum and a ring that was a pinnacle with an amethyst in it, and amethyst is my birthstone. And I've showed you the pendulum. It's the one with the Isis, and there was that Egyptian twist. And I started talking to her, and then a few months went by, and I got a hold of the lady that ran the metaphysical fair, because I had made a whole bunch of those books, those velvet books, and I wanted to set them up and try to sell some of them. And I got in there, and then I met the girls, and it went from there, and it has branched off into so many different paths and so many different types of learning that I still haven't grasped it all. I mean, you're always finding something new. You're always learning. And, I mean, for a while there, I went through a really bad spell in 2010, and I got to the point where I didn't want to be involved with anybody. I blocked myself away. I got behind my brick wall. I put up so much protection that, hell, I couldn't even see out. And I was just having a really hard time of it. And just recently, I've taken the shields down, and I've decided that whatever happened then, it's not fucking worth it. And I'm not going to blame my belief system, which is paganism, witchcraft, for the stupidity that caused me to hide. The evil people that made it happen, you can fuck off. That's plain and simple. I'm trying to come out of my shell, and hopefully this weekly challenge will help me do that. I'm hoping that it does, because I've got things that I want to do, and I can't stay under this log anymore. I can't. I'm being pushed by the goddess. She has smacked me on the back of the head and saying, get with it. So I'm going to get with it, and hopefully I can do this challenge and do something weekly. And on top of that, I'll be learning, because I'll be watching other people's videos, and we'll see how far this takes us. But I am going to be working on my Year of the Goddess, and I've learned a lot already about a lot of goddesses, and I need a refresher course. I need to refresh my brain. I need to refresh my soul. I need to find my bliss. My bliss is lost. So here's the first step in the right direction. Pagan challenge. Week 1. This is Narissa. Bright blessings. Have a wonderful day.